Okay, good afternoon everyone. Today my team and I will explain to you about translation shifts. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to tell you about the definition of translation shifts first. Okay, what is translation shift? Translation shifts is a changing of form when it is translated from the source language into target language. Catford, in his book entitled A Linguistic Theory of Translation 1965, explains the definition and concept of translation shifts. He stated that by shifts, we mean departures from formal correspondence in the process of going from the SL to the EL. Further, Catford stated about the relationship between translation shifts and formal correspondence. He also divided translation shift into two major types. He stated that two major types of shift occur. They are level shift and category shift. The first one is level shift. In A Linguistic Theory of Translation, Catford stated that by shift of level, we mean that the SL item at one linguistic level has a DL translation equivalent at a different level. Then, he stated that bi-level shift means a shift from grammar to lexis. Okay, and here are the examples. The first, SL. I am working hard. And then the DL, saya sedang bekerja keras. The second one, SL. I have worked hard. And then the DL is saya sudah bekerja keras. Both of the examples have a different meaning. From the text in the source language above, it is found that the grammatical item to be plus E or pattern of present continuous tense in the source language is translated into sedang in the target language. So, the level shift in translation is indicated by grammar in the source language, which is translated into lexis in target language. Level shift also happens in example 2 because the form have plus perfect tense or pattern of present perfect tense in source language is translated into target language by using the lexis. The second, category shift. According to Catford, the second type of translation shift is category shift. Catford defines that category shift are departures from formal correspondence. In translation, it means that category shifts are related with formal correspondence. And Catford also stated about this form. Correspondence as follows. A formal correspondence is in a target language or TL category which may be said to occupy as nearly as possible the same place in the economy of the target language or TL as the given source language or SL category occupies in the source language. He explains that in grammar, for example, structure shifts can occur at all ranks. It has a large part in the translation shifts that may happen in order to understand more about category shift. It should be discussed about the classification of category shift. The category shift is divided into four. They are structure shift, class shift, unit shift, and intra-system shift. Okay, let me explain to you the structure shift. What is that? The most frequent category shift that occurs in translation is structure shift. It occurs at all ranks in translation. It occurs in phonological and graphological translation as well as in total translation. According to Catford's concept about structure, it is said that a structure is an arrangement of elements such as subject, predicator, object, and object, complement, and adjunct. Structure shift is indicated by a situation when there are two languages which have different elements of structure. Besides, the source language and target language should have formal correspondence. For example, for the SL, I wash myself. I as the subject, wash as the verb, and then myself as the complete as the object. Sorry. And then for the TL, saya mandi. The TL is the meaning from the I wash myself. Saya mandi. Saya as the subject and mandi as the predicator. Next, the second example. The second example is as the book is on the table. The as the modifier and book as the head. And TL, buku itu ada di atas meja. Buku as the head and itu as the modifier. Okay, the next will be explained by my partner.
Okay, I will continue. My name is lidiasitanggang. My NPM 191201116. Okay, I will continue the next topic is to classic. Classic, as explained by Catford, is a shift that occurs when the translation equivalent of a CL item is a member of a different class from the original item. It means that CL has different class with CL Catford 1965-78. As if a class can happen from a noun into adjective, verbs into adjective, and others. To it simply, the illustration of each word classes may export the explanation of word classes by Quick in his book entitled A University Grammar of English as follows. Classes of words in English are adjective, adverb, noun, pronoun, and verb. Adjective is a word that describes a noun or pronouns. We can identify a word as an adjective by considering what inflection for affix it will allude. Adjective can be modified by the intensity, very as in the children are very happy or quiet. 1173. Adjective also show comparative and superlative. From the children are happier now as an example. Queen 1973 175. Adjective function as attributive as shown in diminutive painting. Adjective function as adjective complement. For the example, he pulled his clothing. An adjective also function as head of noun phrase. As like in the following example, they extremely all did a great deal of attention. The next is adverb. Adverb is a word or group of words that describe or adds to the meaning of a word. An adjective, another adverb, or vowel sentence. The most characteristic of the adverb is morphological. The majority of the adverbs have the derivative suffix. The adverb has two characteristics or functional. Those are adverb functional as adverbial can be seen from his book to me about it briefly. The second function is adverb as modifier of adjective and adverb, which can be seen from she has a really beautiful face and they were smoking very heavily. Adverb as intensifier. Noun is a word grown for words that refers to a person, a place, a thing or activity, or quality or an idea. Noun can be divided into subclasses. They are called noun and non-called noun. Called noun means that noun which must be seen as individual, countable, existence, and cannot be reviewed as an undiversified mass or such as carrying for finer and primer. And non-count noun means the noun which must be seen grown of thing as an undiversified also as the noun phrase that functional as subject, object, complement of the sentence, and as complement a professional verbs. In The Girl is Mary Smith, the girl functional as a subject. Pronoun is a word that is used in place of a noun or noun phrase. Pronoun constitutes a heterogeneous class of items with numerous subclasses like they, we, I, you, he, she, it. Verb is the element of sentence that experience of describe an action, an event, experience, or state which the performance by the subject and it stands before object. One example of verb is grew in his brother. Grew happier, grew glory. The word grew in the example above is a verb. The word here can be said as a verb because it states an action of the subject. And here, the example of class shift. Number 1, CL, mereka bekerja dengan lambat. Translate, they are working slowly. Number 2, CL, mereka melawan teroris dengan gigih. Translate-nya, they overshoot the terrorists resolutely. From the example above, the source language includes Indonesian and the target language is English. In the example 1, the word lambat in the source language functional as an adjective, and the word slowly in the target language functional as an verb. So, the translation equivalent of the adjective lambat in the source language is the adverb slowly in the target language. Class shift also occurs in the example. Number 2, it happens from an adjective into a verb. The word gigi in the source language is adjective, and it is translated into resolution which is categorized as a verb in the target language.
Unit shift as a change of rank may happen from word to phrase, phrase to word, or phrase to clause. Oxford Dictionary define word as the sound of group of sound that express a meaning and forms an independent unit of language. Oxford Dictionary 1374. Various Longman Dictionary define it as the smallest unit of spoken companionship is also found in the second example, the noun praise and exhibition. It is the higher rank in some language is translated into a word, tunjukkan, which is a part of the lower rank in the target language. Okay, that's the explanation.
For intrasystem shifts. Intrasystem shift is the shift occurs internally within a system that is for those cases where the source language is L and the target language or T. Process system with expressed memory correspond formally as to their constitution, but it does not close where the translation involves the selection of the non-corresponding term in the TL system. Moreover, in each language, the system is one of two terms. They are singular and plural, and these terms are also regarded as formally corresponding. Below are the examples of intrasystem shifts. One example is number 1 is Bali's people go to the exhibition. For TL, orang Bali menonton pertunjukan itu. Number 2 is tourists pay attention to the exhibition. For TL, wisatawan menaruh perhatian kepada pertunjukan itu. From both examples, it can be found that there are differences from the source language in the target language. There is a corresponding plural from the people identification of the word orang or orang-orang in Indonesia, but the Indonesian language system shows it as singular for orang. It also has a corresponding plural from tourist to the definition of the word wisatawan or wisata.